The late, great Dick Gregory said it best. He said, knowledge isn't power, information is power. And if I give you bad information, you have bad power. Enter Facebook. Okay, so this is just run with me here. A lot of this is going to deal with theology that I don't necessarily subscribe to, but I think it's very important to highlight the hypocrisy of they don't even sum themselves up with the Christian right, but there's like a lineage of whiteness that has a very loud, influential voice in our American politics, our USA American politics. That's redundant. That I feel like gets a little too much voice and doesn't actually have the amount of importance that people think that it does. But it be for like gerrymandering and a very disproportionate. Anyway, we're not even going to get into that. I want to talk about Facebook though. So Frances Haugen comes in and basically dumps this 10,000 page document that we're still finding stuff out about today. And what it essentially boils down to, in my opinion, is that we don't have the agency over what we call freedom and choice, because these algorithms have found a way to give us bad power, give us bad information, to the point where we're almost addicted to half truths, or at least thought inflammation. And I think it's so funny that people talk about the mark of the beast being in the shots, like these conspiracy theories that pop up on this platform called Facebook, or at least thrive on this platform called Facebook. And we're in the middle of a global pandemic, and people are refusing to take vaccines because, they think a number of things. There's a number of reasons. Either they just don't trust it. And by the way, I'm a huge skeptic. I wanted the shot for my own personal reasons, but at the same time, the whole way there, I was like, oh, bitch, what you put in my arm? I was asking questions. I was looking stuff up. I was on Reddit, which was a big mistake. And it's scary. I get that it's scary. And I understand people's hesitation for getting the shots. I understand also that the disease itself, a lot of the things that people protest are freaking out about the vaccine for are more common from the disease rather than the actual shot. But what I don't particularly even entertain at all is this idea that the shots contain a chip, and you're going to get the shot and you're going to have the mark of the beast inside of you. And ooh, girl, I got the shot and keys and spoons are sticking to my body. First of all, you want to talk about intellectually lazy? I played with magnets a lot as a kid. Keys and spoons. Well, let's stick with keys. Some spoons, but majority of keys that I think I've ever stuck a magnet to are not magnetic. I think keys are made traditionally out of probably like nickel or something. And I could stick a magnet to my keys right now. None of these bitches are going to stick. They'll stick to like the key ring, because I think the key ring's made out of steel or something, iron. I don't know. Anyway, I just think it's funny. Like, you didn't even check the conspiracy theory before you ran with it. And there are people that are not getting the shot, believing that the shot contains a microchip, and that they're going to have the mark of the beast if they take the shot. And it's like, these are the types of things that thrive on Facebook. Do you remember when President Obama came out and this was like when he was ascending to the presidency, when he was still running the primary against Hillary Clinton, and people are like, oh my God, he speaks so well. He's the Antichrist. And it's like, why though? Why is he the Antichrist? Why, when you see a black person ascending to power, they did the same thing to Oprah Winfrey, that you look at them and you go, oh my God, it's the Antichrist. We're going to talk about that. But it's interesting that with President Obama's values and with the things he says he's about, a lot of those align very much with Jesus. While you take his successor, the orange guy, Mr. Pee-Pee Tapes, Mr. Putin's bitch, Mr. Insurrectile Dysfunction, Choose Your Own Adventure, you take him and you look at his values. Aren't you, I'm sorry, my Christian friends, aren't you supposed to know a tree by its fruit? What kind of fruit is that motherfucker producing? It's just interesting to me that you will look at this black man with his fine ass family. I mean, and what I mean is, this fine-ass black man with his gorgeous family, look at him and be like, Antichrist. But you look at this other dude who is like blatantly demonstrating anti-Christian values, and mum's the word, crickets. It's just, why is that? Could it be a little bit of racism? So anyway, let's get back to Facebook. Facebook comes out. They say that they're changing their name to Meta. Meanwhile, while this is going on, people are still believing this whole thing about shots in the arms and the mark of the beast and this, that, and the third, which comes from, I believe, where people are getting the majority of their belief that a microchip is going to be the mark of the beast, is from the book of Revelations, where it talks about not being able to buy or sell anything without receiving a mark. And it's just so funny to me that, like, Facebook comes out, they're Meta now, girl, and they're going to be leaders in the metaverse. They're going to be a metaverse company. Isn't the metaverse going to be like, essentially and eventually, isn't it going to be like the new economy? And instead of me like handing you cash, maybe I'll hand you like digital cryptocurrency out of my crypto wallet, and then that's how the transaction is going to be made, which means that nobody's going to be able to buy or sell anything in that marketplace without having some sort of Facebook account. Yet I've never heard anybody talk about Mark Zuckerberg being the Antichrist. Why is that? I mean, like, the actual stupidity of these people. It's just like the dude who's like, I'm gonna go blow myself up, or I have a bomb, I'm going to the Capitol, and like he pulls out in front of the Library of Congress. Like, the comedy behind that. You went to a fucking library. Read a book, bitch. Like, I'm gonna need these people to read some books. Anyway, nobody talks about Mark Zuckerberg or the orange guy, even if he's holding the Bible upside down. Nobody's talking about them being the Antichrist. And I think the reason why that is there's a lineage of people in this country, a very loud, used to be majority, now it's a very loud minority of people in this country who have been told all their lives, whose ancestors probably may have even been the indentured servants in the fields with African slaves, who the very smart slave masters said, well, we can't have them united, because they were uniting and starting to kick masses' ass. We can't have them uniting, so the way that we're going to divide these people is we're going to tell the white people who are indentured servants, hey, you might not have what I have, but at least you ain't a nigga. And I feel like that's the lineage of thought that we're dealing with in this day and age, where these people are looking out and they're saying, like, they realize that it's a lie, and they see black excellence. They see these people ascending to positions of influence and power, and they look at it and they go, Antichrist, because their world is ending. The lie that they've been, the lie that they have been, that they've purchased, is being shown to them, that everything the light touches isn't there. And yeah, you have to work for your shit, bitch. And yes, racism is real. And yes, inequality is real. And while you haven't had to deal with racist white supremacy being forced upon you and oppressing you, there are people that have had to deal with it, and they are excelling ahead of you and your children. And you have been, to pull from the eschatological fictional work, you have been left behind. And they see that, and it's like white Armageddon, like their world is ending. And so they see black people ascending to positions of power, and they're like, they're the Antichrist.